What's going on, Conscious Crew? We are back to finish what the hell we had done started. Girl, this has been a very interesting streaming kind of a day. You guys know that I went live earlier to get into the subject, and then an old piece of storm blew through this mother and just turned all the lights out. Okay, so this is a redo and a completion of that live stream. In fact, before we get into it, please go ahead and thumbs up the video. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious Crew member and telling them to get people like us into the site. Joe Aaron. Also, shout out to all the new subbies. And of course, if you enjoy everything that Kane do up over her, girl, you can always show some love to the Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. Conscious spelled with the Z on the end, just how it is here in the platform. All handles are in the description box below. And last but not least, please share the stream out to whatever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in fact lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're out, we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through. Over.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious Crew? Hi. We are pushing through. I'm sure my notifications are completely shot because we've been live streaming our ass off. There is a lot going on, y'all. Like a lot going on. I want to come through super quick and get into this old nasty piece of Tyrone Blackburn and his goddamn foolishness. Y'all know how I feel about these ambulance chasing attorneys like Tyrone Blackburn, Gloria Allred, Lisa Bloom, Tony Busby. Girl, I just don't even understand why the legal system is as merciful and as long-suffering as they are with these public servants. You would think because these people, have to uphold a moral, ethical code and be of immense integrity and subject themselves to these oaths of virtue, that the consequences and repercussions would be swiftly and professional. But apparently not. Apparently you can be a drug dealing, scandalous, fraudulent, car runneth over attorney, baby, and still be barred up somewhere. Okay, hell, Tony Busby did less, bitch, and he was rejected in the Southern District of New York. But moving along. Hey, T.D Jakes and Trevor. Hi. My notifications are shot, child. Let's get into Miss Blackburn's shenanigans, because we have some developments on a lawsuit as well as Tyrone Blackburn's current status. Girl, it appears that the attorney is going to need a goddamn attorney. How about that? Okay. Courtesy of TMZ, of course. Lawyer who is suing Fat Joe arrested for allegedly mowing down Joe's process server. Jesus, y'all know how I feel about these attachable braids. I don't know whose baby mama did Tyrone Blackburn's hair. I don't know what type of WIC voucher in office he went and got, a voucher to get his hair done at. Girl, I don't know whether he paid for his hair. via an EBT card, girl, but I just want the context for the attachable plats. I'm just gonna need the origin story, girl. It's given a villain origin story, child. More drama in the Fat Joe civil case. His accuser's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, just got arrested for allegedly mowing down a process server with his car in NYC, because you guys know that Tyrone Blackburn and them plats been down there clout chasing off of the Diddy trial. A rep for the New York Police Department tells us that Blackburn was taken into custody Wednesday morning and booked for assault. Cops say that it all started on the night of May 12th when Blackburn got into his vehicle as a 66-year-old messenger was serving him a complaint in the Fat Joe case. Blackburn allegedly slammed his car into reverse and backed up, hitting the process server in the leg and causing a minor injury. The victim reported the incident to police. Blackburn's arrest stems from a messy legal matter involving Fat Joe and the rapper's powerhouse attorney, Joe Tacopino. Okay, one hell of a last name. Tacopino tells us that Blackburn sent a demand letter on behalf of Terrence Dixon to Fat Joe requesting $3 million for allegedly co-writing music with the hip-hop star. Tacopino says that they blew off the letter, but Blackburn followed up with another demand letter claiming that Fat Joe was messing around with underage individuals. Tacopino says that they wanted to get out ahead of the situation, so they filed a lawsuit alleging defamation and extortion against Blackburn and Dixon. That's when Tacopino hired the messenger to serve the complaint to Blackburn. Dixon has since filed his own $20 million lawsuit against Fat Joe, accusing him of being a PDF file. We've reached out to Blackburn. So far, no word back, of course, because he down there booked and busy to the local NY precinct, girl. This is ghetto. One thing that I noticed is I would have chosen a different set of words if I was Fat Joe's attorney. Tacopino says that they pretty much issued they filed a lawsuit against Terrence and Blackburn because they were being threatened that if they didn't litigate and cut a check that they were going to file against Joe. Tacopino's statement to a media outlet is, well, we pulled the trigger first on the filing in order to get ahead of it. I don't think that verbiage works, especially when your client is being accused of having underage relations, being a PDF file, getting underage people BBLs, fraud, etc. I think a better set of words is, my client is innocent. He wasn't going to go for a shakedown. These claims are absolutely heinous, and it was audacious of a liar and a disgruntled employee to call themselves extorting my client. So we filed because we trust in the legal system. We are tired of seeing these grifters and these people who think they can play off the head tops and legacies of hard-working, honest DEI immigrants like Fat Joe. And we're looking forward to our day before a grand jury in pursuit of justice. What you don't say is, well, we had to get ahead of the shit. Because what does that mean? That statement isn't loaded with, it's not loaded with virtue. It doesn't tell us anything about, Fat Joe being innocent. So, we got to clock him on that, girl. If I was Fat Joe, I would not have appreciated him providing that statement to media, girl. Okay, that was kind of a raggedy statement. But let's see. You know what, girl? My computer is acting a fool. Let's see if we can catch this interview on Miss TMZ, courtesy of Fat Joe's attorney. You guys know that we also read probably 50% of Fat Joe's hype man's lawsuit against Fat Joe It is absolutely scandalous. I mean, my mouth was on the floor. I think that reading it damn near made me sick that night. Remember, I couldn't even finish reading the lawsuit, girl. I told y'all I would come back the next day. I ain't been back since to that lawsuit, girl. I mean, everything imaginable was thrown at Fat Joe, from accusations that he have gotten people hurt, he's gotten people murdered, he forced his hype man to endure 4,000 freak offs. I mean, it was just bad, bad, bad. Even pulling Rock Nation's Desiree Perez into it, as if her ass already don't have enough problems on her hand with her daughter, Damore Hadley, who is suing her for allegedly illegally putting her in a 5150 hole, etc. Child, it is a mess. Okay. Now, it's also kind of clear that the hype man's lawsuit is obviously retaliatory. It's a response to Fat Joe filing against him. But my God, did the retaliation of all retaliations happen? You know, I'm really afraid, living in this day and age of social media, that this is going to be the way that people really get back at people now when they want to injure their reputations. Is they're just going to file a frivolous shit in hopes that it will go viral and pick up traction. And of course, because in a court of a public opinion, nobody cares about the truth. You know, nobody's going to ever really question or follow up or maintain continuity with the litigation. They're only going to be filing these salacious, heinous lawsuits against people just to do damage. And they know that the court of public opinion only cares about the rumor, and that the narrative travels faster than the resolve and the justice of it all does. So I think that a lot of public figures are going to have to keep their motherfucking head on a motherfucking swivel, baby. Let's check out what Fat Joe's attorney had to say to Miss TMZ.
Vet these claims at all before filing. Allegedly driving over your process server. This twist of him allegedly driving over your process server. How'd that go down?
You could take allegedly out of that question, but it went down where a 66-year-old guy who was hired just to do a job of serving a lawsuit on this guy decided he wasn't going to accept service. He didn't want to be served, so he took his car and ran into him.
How is he?
He's okay. I mean, he's 66, you know, not the youngest guy in the world, but he has some damage. He went to the hospital, he has some leg, damage, but he's okay.
Going to be okay.
Live. Thank God. Right. Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. They issued an arrest warrant, and they arrested him this morning, which comes, by the way, no surprise to me at all, guys. No surprise. It's just the latest example of his malicious and manipulative pattern of misconduct, finally coming to light. He really is an embarrassment to the legal community. This guy, it's a disgrace watching him use the court system to shield his extortionate tactics. Two federal judges, listen to what I'm about to say to you guys. Two federal judges in the same courthouse, Southern District of New York, have already said to him in writing, in filings on two separate cases, that he's misusing the court system to embarrass people, to garner publicity for himself, to misstate facts, misapply the law that he doesn't clearly know. Two federal judges said that about me and wrote that in an opinion, which is in our complaint. I would go serve espressos at Starbucks for the rest of my life. Don't forget how this went down, guys. This went down where he initially made a demand, this Dixon, to Fat Joe. He was a hype man, literally a hype man. Guy who jumps around, hypes people up. That's all he did. From 15 years ago, by the way. So he then said, "Oh, well, I wrote half your songs. Give me $3 million." And Fat Joe was like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" That was the end of that. So because they didn't reply to that, because he didn't get money from that, the next letter from Blackburn came saying, "Yeah, I wrote half your songs. Give me money for that. And also I saw you have sex with minors." Like, what? Where did that come from? How did that miss the first letter, the first demand?
Wow.
It's so pathetic. And look, we've spoken to some of the people he claims this happened to in the lawsuit. Unfortunately, he hasn't.
What you've discovered is he didn't, from what you found, that he didn't vet this these claims at all before filing this lawsuit.
He never does.
Correct. One of the people don't even know who Fat Joe is. So anyway, this is all going to come out. This is why we litigate. But, you know, this today's news is just this. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested. It should be shocking when a lawyer gets arrested for committing felony assault on someone. But unfortunately and sadly, it's not shocking with this guy.
Wow, you guys. Now, this is a consistent pattern here with Tyrone Blackburn, okay? Before we go further, we need a mic check. I know that my visual is probably glitching up and freezing. I can't do nothing about that. That's on YouTube's part. But if my audio is good and fluid, give me a 1. I just want to make sure that my audio is not choppy. I know the visual is probably a little choppy. I really don't know what's going on with YouTube, you guys. YouTube is really... I don't know whether the YouTube platform has diabetes, girl, and it's just got YouTube electrolytes torn all out of the goddamn frame, girl. I really want YouTube to go to a doctor and get a pap smear done, get some blood work done, girl, because right now the platform is giving diabetic, girl, and it's giving type 1 diabetes, girl. It's giving irreversible diabetes, girl. The electrolytes are shot, girl. The blood cells are shot, girl. The body is just all types of out of whack, girl. And lost your taste bud. Got Carisha 19 ass symptoms, bitch. It's giving all of that, girl. And it's been going on for a while now. They play on your viewer count. We got 74 folk up in here. It'll be 1,000 people who would have already watched the video within 15 minutes of the video coming to an end. Okay, it's been weird-ish like this going on with YouTube for a long time. And I have noticed that a lot of content creators are buying up subscribers and views, and when there's an influx of artificial intelligence and shit, girl, and people be buying up foreigners from Egypt and shit to watch their live streams, girl, okay, trying to make themselves look like them girls, YouTube then get to throwing in their nanobots like white cell bloods to start countering all that shit and demonetizing folk platform and clipping channels. And when they going through that, the whole system just slows all the way down. It's a whole mess. I hate it, okay? Now, this attorney made some interesting claims. He said that this raggedy attorney, Thick Neck Blackburn, is out of touch. He's been reprimanded constantly in the legal system. He's been recently reprimanded by 2 federal judges. I told you guys, Tyrone Blackburn is known for sensationalizing claims against public figures. He's been chastised in the past for this. His lawsuits have been debunked, and almost every person he's represented in a litigation against another public figure, almost all of their cases have stalled, been dismissed, or stuck in the legal system somewhere, or Tyrone Blackburn has just all out hauled ass, or even worse. Some of his clients, like Sabrina Peterson, who sued T.I. and Tiny, ended up countersued successfully, and now she owes T.I. and Tiny a bunch of fucking money she don't have. Okay? I've been telling y'all, Tyrone Blackburn is a courtroom clown. I have no idea how this man became an attorney. I don't know how he even still gets business. I'm sure he's around here grifting off of people's situations with public figures and promising to initially represent them pro bono. And, you know, if they win, and they'll be sure to win, that he'll get his cut then. And then, you know, when the case dries up or he realizes he's in too deep, bitch, and he's about to take that L, he leaves his clients hanging high and dry. And he's done just that to no other than Duane Youngblood. You guys know that we've been keeping up with the T.D. Jakes lawsuit. For those of you who've been living under a rock, you would know that T.D. Jakes sued Duane Youngblood, a registered pedophile who went on to the Larry Reid Live platform twice and accused T.D. Jakes of attempting to actually groom him while he was 19 years of age, okay? T.D. Jakes turned around and sued Duane Youngblood, who was pushed to pre-litigate with T.D. Jakes, courtesy of the advice of no other than Tyrone Blackburn. Larry Reed disclosed right here on the platform that Tyrone Blackburn contacted Larry via Larry's TikTok channel and left a comment under one of the interviews saying that Youngblood has a case. And from there, I guess Larry linked Blackburn and Duane, and those infamous demand letters went out. Tyrone Blackburn, on behalf of his client's permission, sent a demand letter to T.D. Jakes of $6 million, or else they were going to pull the trigger on this lawsuit. And T.D. Jakes took his orthopedic ass chicken nugget finger and said, fuck you, in the most Christian, holiest ways a fuck you could be delivered, and filed on his motherfucking ass, and it has been spiraling ever since, you guys. I have never seen such an iconic litigation in my life. I had no idea what T.D. Jakes on Mad Day looks like, girl. If you want to know what T.D. Jakes on Mad Day look like, bitch, you need to be following the T.D. Jakes versus Duane Youngblood lawsuit. He has been tearing Tyrone Blackburn and Duane Youngblood ass out of the frame, baby. Somebody go check them people backsides. Do they even have booty cheeks anymore, girl? Because T.D. Jakes done spanked that ass and flattened that ass ever since they played on what was remaining of that man's hairline, girl, okay? Not only did Tyrone Blackburn, well, not Tyrone Blackburn, but Duane Youngblood, his client, enter this litigation broke, in need of a bunch of continuances, was only working a part-time job, had no legal representation, had to have the court delay shit so he could have time to acquire an attorney. But right out of the gate, T.D. Jakes also started to expose the manipulative, deceptive, alleged fraudulent plays and tactics of both Youngblood and Blackburn. I told you guys, and I love this part of the story. When Youngblood had to respond to the lawsuit, girl, do y'all know? Initially, they tried to get the lawsuit dismissed. Of course, the judge said, hell no. The lawsuit has merit. It will be moving forward. Then, what they attempted to do in order to coerce T.D. Jakes into a mediation is they threatened to bring forth all of these people who had been allegedly abused by T.D. Jakes, honey, okay? And the whole volcano of secrets was supposed to open up on the Potter's House founder. Well, what ended up happening is Youngblood ended up only submitting affidavits by about 8 of his compadres. About 5 of those affidavits were from other registered pedophiles and sex offenders. And they all lied in the affidavits. T.D. Jakes' team debunked the dates and times because the people claiming that, you know, they were confided in, that, you know, Youngblood had told them this in 1996 over coffee, or in 2001 during brunch, or in 2006 over a football game. Well, guess what? Jake's attorneys looked at all those dates, ran those people in the database, and found out that there is no way, sir, that you could have been sitting on a balcony having orange juice with Youngblood crying over T.D. Jakes, because you were in prison for rape. Mr. 2002, there's no way you could have been sitting in a living room watching a game, lending your shoulder to a crying ass Duane Youngblood over T.D. Jakes, because you too, sir, were in prison for violating a minor. Baby, when I tell you T.D. Jakes gathered every single one of Youngblood's so-called witnesses who didn't have any first-hand witness, they only had second-hand information, which was due to what they claimed Youngblood shared with them. And all of those people were fucking criminals and convicted felons and offenders just like Duane. Girl, I ain't never seen an alley-oop like this in my life, bitch. I was absolutely and utterly shook, y'all. Shook! T.D. Jakes has been rolling in the deep. Girl, he has been using Tyrone's body as a trampoline, girl. T.D. Jakes has been using Tyrone and Duane Youngblood's body as a yoga mat, bitch. Imagine being the yoga mat, bitch. Tearing Youngblood and Blackburn the fuck up. But it gets even more embarrassing, y'all. Just when you think, girl, Tyrone Blackburn just can't fail any more than what he already has. Tyrone Blackburn surely doesn't have any more desperate tactics employed in his little black hat. It possibly couldn't get worse. Tyrone Blackburn couldn't be more incompetent. Oh, it got more incompetent. It became incompetency 2.0. Because you know what Tyrone did as a last-ditch effort, girl, to get this lawsuit thrown out. He tried to argue what was Larry Reed's advice, which was for Youngblood to file the anti-slap against Jakes. And do you know, when we read the last update, Jakes' attorneys went line by line through every single one of Blackburn and Youngblood's filing and proved that Tyrone Blackburn wasn't even citing case law. The man was just literally making up fucking quotations and assigning them to case law that didn't even exist at all. Tyrone Blackburn resulted to just all out fucking lying about the law, about legislation. Literally created legislation that does not objectively and factually fucking exist. And y'all, you could not, you wouldn't believe it unless you read it. Yes, Yeppy. You could not believe this shit unless you read it for yourself, y'all. If I wasn't reading this shit for myself, if I wasn't reporting on this case, I would think every commentator who is keeping up with the continuity of this litigation was lying. I would think, girl, this was something out of a Tubi movie, girl. I would not remotely think that this is real. It's real, you all. Now, as a result of Tyrone Blackburn and Duane Youngblood's back being forced up against the wall, they have nowhere they can go now. Tyrone Blackburn is doing what he is historically known to do, which is to haul ass and find the first exit in sight. So he has, as of today, I guess before the feds came and locked his motherfucking ass up, girl, before the SWAT came through and busted his door down, girl, for running that damn poor man over back in May, girl, or March. He submitted a filing to the courts asking to be removed from the case altogether. This is Tyrone Blackburn's filing, girl. As of today, you all, look at this. Withdrawal of appearance. To the clerk, kindly withdraw my appearance only on behalf of Duane Youngblood, defendant in the above captioned manner. Dated for yesterday, actually. It went into the system today. Now the streets are buzzing and yabba dabba doing, trying to figure the hell out, y'all. What in the hell is going on? I mean, other than the obvious, they're losing. Tyrone Blackburn knows that they're losing. And worst of all, they're losing for free, bitch. It's one thing for an attorney to be a part of a case that is headed absolutely unequivocally toward an iconic L, but they still getting them invoices met every month, okay? Baby, attorneys will gladly go down that dirty, piss yellow brick road with you as long as they're getting paid to suffer alongside you, long as they're getting paid to take this L alongside you. But to be headed toward the L and to also be heading toward that L for free, honey, are just too many struggles that anybody with common sense cannot fathom, girl. Tyrone Blackburn said, girl, you got to pick a struggle. We can't just be struggling, Youngblood, bitch. Okay? And he jumped out of the captain's seat, girl, throwing on his parachute and took his chances, girl, and left Duane Youngblood in a burning commercial airliner, girl, headed straight for the earth. Headed straight for the earth. Now, this is mighty audacious of Blackburn, considering that he's the reason Duane is even in this shit to begin with. He's the one who contacted Larry and had Larry pass the message on that you might have a case, according to Mr. Attorney at Law. So for Tyrone Blackburn to literally be the reason Youngblood is even in this shit, for Tyrone Blackburn to be the literal sole foundational reason why they even sent demand letters in the first place, Youngblood was taking the advice of his attorney. This man that he probably Googled and saw represented all these people against Nicki Minaj and against T.I. and Tiny, and had connected himself and grifted off of, all this litigation, but like all people didn't do his damn homework. Because if he just would have went to page 2, girl, after Google page 1, he would have found that Tyrone ain't shit. And ain't Erykah Badu done told our asses about a Tyrone, girl? Have we not learned anything from the forensic analyzations of Miss Erykah Badu about them Tyrones, baby? It was better for damn Youngblood to call Erykah before even calling Tyrone at all. And now, look at you, dumbass. But let me tell you, the reason why Youngblood, because he ain't no goddamn innocent. Okay? He ain't no victim in this. He with the shits too. You know the reason why Youngblood didn't bother doing any extensive research? You know why he just took the advice of Larry, girl? Why he just didn't look into nothing for himself? It's because, just like Blackburn, Youngblood was banking on T.D. Jakes actually settling out of court. It was never supposed to get this far. It was never supposed to go this far. It was never supposed to see the light of day. They were hoping that T.D. Jakes' public reputation as a pastor and a minister, that he would have hated to have something like this looming over his reputation and to be dealing with something like this publicly, especially of this nature. Oh, no. Of course, T.D. Jakes is going to settle out of court. Of course, he's going to, write a check so this thing can go away quietly. We'll sign a few NDAs, Tyrone, and, Youngblood, and, you'll never even have to write those books because T.D. Jakes is going to pay you more than what you would have ever made, bitch. Grifting off of his name with all these autobiographicals and from the abuse to the abuser docu-series and shit that you was on your way to producing, baby. You can cut out all that manual labor. T.D. Jakes is not going to subject himself. He won't call out bluff. He got children. He got a wife. He got a reputation to uphold. Hell, he's got to make Jesus proud. Baby, they had done fucked around and found out. Now, I don't know whether T.D. Jakes, baby, just done thrown in his towel, girl. T.D. Jakes know he over there eating hog mog and raw collard greens, and know he over there with a badass bladder and wearing an oversized ass diaper to catch Thanksgiving every holiday, girl. And maybe he just know, girl, he ain't got nothing but 2 extra breasts left in him, girl. And T.D. Jakes is letting it have in the earth, bitch. Okay? Because once he filed against goddamn Youngblood, he went to filing as well, baby, against YouTube, Google, getting to the bottom of these YouTube channels that's been connecting him to these damn funky ass freak offs, girl. T.D. Jakes had one of them and lost his mind and turned to damn Hurricane Katrina out here, girl. Had people private in videos, unlisting shit, bitch, starting over in their YouTube careers, girl. Some of them YouTubers are now Instagrammers, girl. Okay, they had them jump continents digitally, baby. Baby, T.D. Jakes was with all of it, girl. Want all the damn smoke, bitch. And now he gets another legal win. This is major for T.D. Jakes, who have been whooping ass and taking motherfucking names in the litigation, girl. At this point, Youngblood just need to go ahead and file for a mediation, girl. Just go ahead and bow down and kiss the ring, girl. Tell that man you misunderstood what had happened back in 1985, girl. It was just a hug. And he might have leaned in for a kiss, but it was a social kiss. It was like the way that a daddy kisses his son on the forehead kiss, baby. And that the call the next day to his mama's house was T.D. Jakes asking him, did he have a pair of chargers for his battery, girl? Okay? Did he have an extra pair of pliers, baby, to change the flat on the bike, baby? Okay, that, it was him that just had a whole misunderstanding, baby. Okay, he had just he was young. He was exhausted that night. He had been making sweet potato pies and shit all day, honey. Okay, he was fatigued by the time him and T.D. Jakes got done with that 3-hour conversation in that lady's living room over tea and crumpets about his lived experience, child. Okay, he maybe he was dreaming and fantasizing, girl. He best to go up in this motherfucker now, saving his ass, because it's clear to me, girl, that he's dealing with a very dangerous version of T.D. Jakes. This is not the era in which T.D. Jakes is applying any of that New Testament forgiveness, girl. He want all the Old Testament Jehovah ass smoke, bitch. Okay? It's very clear that T.D. Jakes, if he can draw blood out of Youngblood ass, that's what he wants and that's what he's going to do. Okay? This is not the era, girl, where T.D. Jakes is practicing any type of fluffy virtue, girl. He is afraid for his life. He got all these health complications. He don't know if he gonna see 2026. And he want to make sure he clean these motherfucking streets up real good, bitch, before these grifters have an opportunity to play on his head top. He's trying to get in control, baby, of his legacy, baby, and burn all these castles to the ground, girl, who think that they're going to be in control of his truth, girl, when he gone long to the Father, Son, and the Holy Daughter, girl. Okay? He's trying to squash all the key players right now. What's going on, St. James? I said, it is finished, girl. Baby. I am shook, St. James. St. James, are you shook? Now, I wasn't expecting this. I'm expecting them to lose like hell. I'm expecting T.D. Jakes to come out on top in the litigation. I was not expecting Blackburn to run faster than Sonic the Hedgehog off of them after them golden rings, girl. I was not expecting Blackburn to put on his good running shoes, girl. His good track star tennis shoes, baby. I wasn't expecting that. So now we got to talk about the why. The why. Outside the obvious, right? The obvious is obviously they're losing. Obviously they're going to lose. Hey, Raven. Obviously Tyrone Blackburn is losing for free at that. It's just too many L's, okay? We're seeing this even in the Megan Thee Stallion Nappy Radio litigation. Remember, all of her attorneys done ran the hell off for a lack of payment and to spare what's remaining of their reputation, girl, because this will be the second time they're going up against Megan Thee Stallion on behalf of Tory, girl, and they just can't take that L again socially. It will collapse their business, okay? Attorneys maintain clients based upon competency and how strong their wins are in their legal profile. You don't want to be represented by no sorry-ass attorney who got 2 stars, who can't ever win a case, who get their clients into more shit than out of shit. That's horrible business. So outside of that, obviously they're losing, and Tyrone is losing for free. Those are 2 major reasons to definitely pull out. Also, Tyrone is scared too, not just Duane. What's going on? Yep. Hey, beautiful. Okay. Now, mind you, I'm thinking a few things here, right? Tyrone Blackburn knows that T.D. Jakes is on his ass in this lawsuit. Matter of fact, from the beginning, I've been thinking that one of the John Does is Tyrone Blackburn. It's clear that T.D. Jakes' legal team have done their homework. They've listened to not only the interviews on Larry Reed's platform, but they've listened to Larry's commentary. I'm sure that they definitely probably have downloaded and forensically analyzed things that Larry has said over here on the channel, have said elsewhere on the YouTube. So when Larry said that Tyrone Blackburn was the one who was seeking Duane, that Tyrone Blackburn was the one that commented under Larry's TikTok video and said, Duane has a case. Yeah, I'm sure that's part of what T.D. Jakes thinks the conspiracy is. That the conspiracy is to T.D. Jakes, Larry, Duane, and Tyrone. T.D. Jakes can almost smell the fuckery and foolery within the buttermilk of it all. Now that Tyrone Blackburn has backed down, why did he back down? Well, it's interesting that this withdrawal, for one, it's in typical Tyrone fashion in terms of it's half done. I ain't never seen a judge honor a simple goodbye from an attorney without a just causation. So I'm surprised that Tyrone Blackburn even sent this half filled out ass shit to the courts. Like, the audacity of you, girl, to write up a half of, ain't even half of a memorandum, girl. Girl, you gave us 10% of the download. We need a causation, ho. What you mean by? Do you realize you're dead in the middle of a federal lawsuit with a man who's working a part-time job, who we had to give a continuance to, who couldn't even afford an attorney? And now we're finally getting to the middle, into the meat. We're getting closer to discovery, into some substance and conclusion, and you want to bail out now, sir? And you haven't even provided us a single reason. Not that I'm sick, my dog died, I had to get my fake plaques installed, girl. It took 40 days and 40 nights for them to sew that shit into the perimeter of my head. They had to import my attachable plaques from Japan. You know, I'm running over my ops judge. Bitch, I got problems. Tyrone Blackburn arrogant enough to not say a damn thing. Oh, nothing. Just gone. Just gone, girl. Bye. Who in the hell just says bye to a federal judge? Who the hell says bye to a federal judge dead in the middle of a federal case? This withdrawal alone shows you that there is something wrong with Tyrone Blackburn. And I'm seriously now questioning whether he's a very special person. I want to know how small the bus was that Tyrone rode to school on and in middle school and high school. I want to know which side of the hallway he had to take his classes on, because it's becoming increasingly clear, girl, that Tyrone may be a very unique individual. Because I want to know who taught him this. I want to know what law school taught him this. Or did he just slide this shit through a prompt in ChatGPT 2 and didn't even bother proofreading it, girl, and sent the first class down there to Pennsylvania? Because it ain't no way in hell he consciously wrote this up and actually overlooked this and just really thought this was going to be sufficient. There's no way, unless Tyrone Blackburn is actually out of his damn mind. Yep, I did some deep dives. If you go on my channel, and the search engine on my channel, just type in Tyrone Blackburn. One video, we literally went through so many of his cases, him being reprimanded by the courts. He's a mess. A mess. I know somebody personally who was being represented by Tyrone Blackburn, and her case has been stuck since. So back to the question of why did Tyrone Blackburn peel out of this litigation? Could it be because Tyrone Blackburn, being an attorney, right, being connected to the courts and the police, etc., that he knew the feds were coming today to arrest his motherfucking ass? He knows that this is going to look completely horrendous in terms of his reputation and the optics of it, considering that T.D. Jakes wants blood, and he knows that T.D. Jakes and his team are going to slaughter Tyrone Blackburn in these litigations. That, of course, his arrest, his violent nature, his unbecoming of an attorney, the way he tries to find loopholes and evade responsibility, the way he tries to get over by any means necessary, even if it means hurting innocent people and other legal associates like process servers. Oh, baby, he know T.D. Jakes gonna run it, baby. He know if he stay connected to this case, baby, if he has to continue to represent girl, that they're going to run it down on his ass and never let up on him, girl. He will never live this up. Never. They'll never let him outlive it. It's ironic that he filed this yesterday and gets arrested this morning. I think Tyrone Blackburn knew that he was going to be arrested. He had pending cases his damn self, honey. And to St. James' point, just handing Jakes all of the discovery that they need. And that's also interesting timing. What were they going to find in discovery? Does Tyrone Blackburn know something that the rest of us don't? T.D. Jakes he got a John Doe through 1 in 10. He's citing conspiracy. Does Tyrone Blackburn believe that if the courts were to look forensically at the exchanges between all parties, that there are things that could look like conspiracy, that there is enough of the way things are being talked about, the way things are being exchanged, that it definitely can look like this was a group project against T.D. Jakes? Even if it wasn't their intention to be a coup, but because, I mean, we're talking about human beings, right? People sloppy as hell. People get very casual when they think that the lights are off and nobody is looking and the curtains are closed. And you don't think that the way you carrying on, you don't think about how that looks in the worst case scenario, because you only focus on your own personal ambition and your own personal agenda. So now that they're looking back in retrospect, it's Tyrone like, bitch, if they open up Discovery Hole, we all gonna have some problems, girl. If they open up, girl, if they subpoena our phones and subpoena our electronics and subpoena our MacBooks and our tablets and DMs, girl, that is giving RICO. That is giving defamation RICO, girl. Because remember, in the Megan Thee Stallion litigation with Nappy Radio had to submit her electronics. She had to get her phone cloned. Girl, they done extracted that girl's nudes and everything. And let me tell you how dangerous this gets. Because I didn't think about this part of this stage of the litigation until now, talking to you guys. And shout out to you all. Give me a thumbs up, girl. We're working today. Nappy Radio said, if my coochie gets leaked, y'all know who did it. She was talking about Meg's team. She was talking about Rock Nation because she had to get her phone cloned. And there was no way for her to falsify the things in her phone, because getting your phone cloned is how they also can extract the digital footprints. Girl, could you imagine them subpoenaing Larry Reed's phone? They're going to have access to even things outside of this litigation, even though I'm sure that by the time they get there, just like in Megan's case, you know, there's going to be a conversation between the attorneys, and they're going to create a layout of how private and sensitive information is to be handled, etc. But a lot of that information gets transferred to both sides. Some of that information has to be returned, and it has to be returned a certain way, or it has to be all out exposed. Now, you know nothing is ever fucking exposed. You know damn well if T.D. Jakes' team gets a hold of Larry Reed's phone, bitch, and find other interesting things in his digitals, even outside of himself, that of course they're going to clone that data. Of course, even if they promise to dispose of certain information because legally they're supposed to, of course they won't. Of course they're going to keep that shit and clone that shit. And then that shit is more than likely going to have a very interesting way of popping up and out a year from now. Some regular, random, nobody blogger is going to happen to have had a source, a Google Drive sent to them. Mm-hmm. And then kaboom, very sensitive, damning data now becomes a headline. That would be really bad. Because Larry is a super connected person. And people have entrusted and shared personal things with Larry, and Larry has shared personal things with Peoples. If Jakes gets that technology subpoenaed and cloned and gets access to things that Larry won't be able to hide, because that's what forensic specialists do. They recover the information on the back end, which is the entirety and the fullness of that data, not the redacted version of it that, you done cleaned up on the front end. You bring in the digital analyst to get the non-edited, raw digital data. And because I believe that T.D. Jakes wants blood, I don't believe that T.D. Jakes' team, and it's my opinion, that I don't believe that information will remain sacred. I think that information will get out, but I think it'll be long after T.D. Jakes, concludes his case, because it's going to have to be a long enough period of time between getting access to that information and when it's released, so that it can't look obviously connected to a ploy and a play on Jake's part. But I am pretty sure, because T.D. Jakes is mad as hell, he feels Larry has been unnecessarily oppositional toward him, have been bullying him, has been grifting off of him, etc. I'm sure that the only reason T.D. Jakes filed this suit is because T.D. Jakes is ready, baby. He's ready to cancel everybody in by any means necessary. And what he won't be able to give, whatever justice he won't be able to get the courts to give him, Jakes will get that justice elsewhere. He'll get it in them streets. He'll get them in them blogging streets. Jakes wants retribution from all of his so-called ops. Yeah. This is not just about a litigation. This is that infamous church mafia that you guys have heard about. This is that infamous black church mafia. Powerful leaders have egos too. They get tired and fatigued too. And if they feel pressed and pulled and summoned enough, they won't have any conscience about giving you the smoke that you've been begging for, because as far as they're concerned, it's what you wanted. You wanted the smoke. You wanted the heat. Why else would you have tugged and tugged and tugged and tugged and tugged on my toupee if you didn't want that smoke? Oh, yeah. I don't think it's in the best interest of Larry to end up in this lawsuit. Just like Tyrone is now cutting fucking flips, bitch, to get up out of that motherfucker. I hope Larry has a passport ready. I hope his ass will be over in goddamn in a Jumanji jungle, in a damn Amazonian wilderness, Dubai, Ghana, or wherever the hell his ancestors from, girl, because he stands a lot to risk if T.D. Jakes successfully raptures him into this lawsuit. And T.D. Jakes is trying to get to the bottom of the shit. He wants to see under the mat. T.D. Jakes don't just want Youngblood. You can see in every filing, he tugging on what's remaining of Larry's scalp too. T.D. Jakes is under the total belief and conviction that there is conspiracy and a coup. And as far as he's concerned, things look too fucking obvious to not be what they look like. And if he gets a chance to get his hands on Larry's shit, he's going to do just that. And with T.D. Jakes already letting it be known earlier on in the litigation that, look, I need an early discovery because I don't think these people have enough integrity to give me the raw data. I'm sure what they're going to hand over, if we give them time, Judge, is redacted and edited shit. So T.D. Jakes, already more than likely, if him and his team are smart, they're preparing for discovery, probably allocating funding toward a forensic specialist, subpoenaing phone records, because he already sees Duane, Larry, and Tyrone as liars. So he knows he's going to have to put a shovel to this shit. He's going in already with the attitude that I don't trust these niggas. I know the truth ain't in their ass. I know they all gonna save their ass. I don't expect them to willfully incriminate themselves and hand me over shit that's gonna cost them. No. I know I'm going to have to put a shovel to the shit. This is why Jakes requested an early discovery to begin with. He was really arguing this in the paperwork. He said, Judge, no. I'm sure there's a conspiracy here, and I'm sure these niggas are trying to put an eraser to everything that can potentially incriminate them. Judge, run me that. The judge said, I'm not opposed to it, but it is way too early on, and you haven't even listed Larry as a co-defendant officially. Maybe had you done that, maybe we would have ran it, maybe, but it's way too early. We don't even know if this lawsuit even get that far. So hold your horses, and when we naturally get to discovery, you can request this discovery against Larry again, and we will reconsider it at the drawing board. So unfortunately, Larry is not out of the woodworks. I'm very nervous for Larry, because all the commentators who are covering the T.D. Jakes lawsuit can see that Jakes wants all the smoke. He's here for retribution. He's not here to mediate. He's not here to have a conversation. He's not here to hear any Dr. Luther King speech. He's not here to shake hands and wave a white flag. He's here as long as his diabetic heart can hold on to, baby, because he ain't got nothing else to do at this point, especially since he done retired from Potter's house, but to be rich and to fuck with these niggas who he feel done been fucking with him. He ain't got nothing but time now, baby. Oh, yes. And the last thing you want a big, burly, lumberjack built nigga like Jakes having on his side is time, baby. And you know he hangry, because you know he done been passing out and falling out and sliding on his kneecaps and shit all across the damn stage, girl. So you know the damn doctors done put his ass on a food restriction, girl. So, baby, how T.D. Jakes is dealing with that now hunger, girl, is by stomping on these niggas' head top, girl. He got violence. He need a punching bag. He need an emotional dumpster, baby. Jake's madder than he ever been, motherfucking mad, baby. And he know that Christ already done forgave him for the blood he about to prematurely spill. So I think that's why Tyrone backed out, is getting to discovery. Tyrone probably knows, even if we did not come together intentionally to go up against Jakes, it was just that things naturally came together. But the way it's going to look on paper, if these folk pull text messages and emails and correspondence, it's going to look like a conspiracy. It's going to look like a coup. And Tyrone got his own legal troubles now, his own unbecoming legal troubles. And he don't want to have to deal with that from T.D. Jakes. Because now he's going up against another motherfucker who want all the smoke too, and that's Fat fucking Joe. So Tyrone Blackburn is also having to pick his struggle, because now he's sandwiched in between two titans. T.D. Jakes, who he litigating on behalf of Duane Youngblood, and Fat Joe, who he litigating on behalf of Terrence A. Dixon. You got to pick a struggle. but you can't just fucking struggle. What's going on, Adriana? You are terrible conscious. They have poked the bear one too many times. Baby, Jake's outside. Jake's in that belly, bitch, are outside. Okay? Crop top on, girl. Belly outside, baby. Jake's is outside, girl. Cardi B. Now, the only question now is, will the courts honor this? Not in this version, they won't. I highly doubt that the judge is going to let Tyrone get away with this as a withdrawal. It's literally lazy, it's arrogant, it's audacious, and it's just void. You need to explain and cough up a just reason for us to consider. Because your client is a struggle case, girl. And leaving him without an attorney this far in is only going to slow shit down, which we don't want. We're trying to get this shit over with. Jake's already ready to round you niggas up. You know, it's going to inconvenience the courts to give out more continuances, push it back when we've already accommodated him in the beginning. We gave him a continuance, gave him opportunity to find him an attorney. No, unfortunately, sir, you're going to have to stay to the end, my friend. So there's a big possibility that the judge is not going to allow Tyrone Blackburn to withdraw. And if the judge is going to, more than likely, the judge is going to make Tyrone Blackburn actually explain himself. I would be very surprised if the judge lets Tyrone Blackburn go with this. That's also going to be interesting for Tyrone Blackburn because in a way, he will be given some favor. I mean, it might not really be much in the grand scheme of things, but typically once clients have been abandoned, courts tend to kind of lend themselves a little bit to the client because, you know, the client is without legal representation. They know this person doesn't know anything about courts and how to file. So they get a unique favoritism and attention due to being lawyerless. So I don't know how to call it, but what I want is the judge to force Tyrone Blackburn to endure to the end, bitch. Nope. You got Duane Youngblood in this shit. You jumped your ass into this shit. You knew what y'all was getting into. Wherever y'all going, y'all gonna go together, baby. And if it's to hell, you're going there together, baby. Wherever this case going, baby, you and Youngblood are going to go together, Tyrone. No. I hope the courts do not allow him to just use Youngblood, even though I don't fuck with Youngblood. I don't think he's a victim at all. And, you know, I hope that he get all the smoke he need to get from Jakes. However, from the court's perspective, I hope that they see the way that Tyrone Blackburn is attempting to grift, attempting to take advantage once again of another vulnerable person that he pulled up on and convinced into all this shit. And that at the very least, if they can't disbar him, they make him endure then what he starts. Make him endure that shit. So we will be looking for an update. The next thing we should be getting on the docket is the judge responding to this withdrawal of appearance, girl, which is this one sentence, baby. Are these, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, girl, 16 words, baby. A complete sentence, girl. He might as well just said goodbye. Dated for June 24th of 2025, child. Yesterday, girl. This is a mess, y'all. This is a mess. Adriana says Tyrone better stage a medical emergency, baby. And guess what? Since he over here running over damn process servers allegedly, he got it in him, honey. He got it in him, girl. Tyler Perry need to hire Tyrone Blackburn, baby. It'll be his best acting role yet, honey. This is a mess, child. So I just wanted to come through, girl. Oh, this is good timing. I was here for an hour, child. Okay, we did it. All right, this cute timing for the Consciouztv platform, child. So I just want to come through, girl, give y'all this rundown. Tyrone is down there to the NYPD precinct, child, taking his mug shots, running folk over, girl, getting charged. Out there fighting Fat Joe goons in what probably is a frivolous lawsuit as well. And out here begging the judge, what? Not even begging, girl, telling the judge, girl, he gone. Just leaving this man all out empty-handed. No, ma'am. This was your idea, Tyrone. Stick to the rivers and the streams in which you used to, girl. So you guys run it up. Thumbs up. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Leave all of your comments and questions in the comment section below. Please give me a like. It's free 99. And if you love the King and appreciate everything the King do, girl, I entertain, I roast, I gag, I give you guys aesthetics, baby. I mean, who else? Who else? Who else? Okay? Run that on Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. Of course, email me net@consciouztv@gmail.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform. And you can also sign up to Patreon. And on that note, I will see you guys first thing in the morning. Toodles.